So what you just saw was me getting up way too early to get to school. It's not just me though. Stupidly early start times all over the world have teenagers getting up way too early, and this can very negatively affect their health. I believe that starting school later would definitely benefit students' health, especially as students get older, because earlier start times negatively affect mental and physical health. So first of all, I'm gonna set up a schedule. And usually in America, start and end times are around 7:30 a.m. and like 3 p.m. And this means you will get home around 3:20ish. But if you're doing stuff after school, like sports or clubs or any extracurricular activities, then you'll probably get home even later, maybe around 5. And it takes, on average, about 3 hours to do homework on a weekday. And high school students have responsibilities at home or outside of school that they need to take care of each night, which adds another 2 to 3 hours. Especially if a student is working in order to support their family, they get at home even later. And all of this adds up to like a sleep time around 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. And the average amount of sleep gotten each night is around 6 hours.
I sleep at 12:37 and get 5 hours and 13 minutes of sleep.
Why so specific?
I sleep at like 12:30 and about 5 hours of sleep.
I usually go to sleep around 1 a.m. and I get around 6 hours of sleep.
11:30 is 6.5 hours.
I sleep at like 1 or 2 a.m. and I usually wake up at 5 a.m. So between like 2 to 3 hours of sleep.
I get around 3 hours of sleep and I go to bed around 2:30.
So I usually sleep around 12 or 12:30. And since school starts at 7, I usually wake up at 6, so I usually only get 6 hours of sleep.
So doing all this work and having all these responsibilities means that students get less sleep each night, especially if they wake up early and get to school in the morning. The reason getting such less sleep is so bad for students is because they can't go through all of their sleep cycles. Sleep cycles help you recover from the day, but more importantly, they help you grow and develop. And teenagers need some of the most sleep because they are growing the most out of any other age group, and they're also going through puberty. So the 4 stages that you go through are dozing off, light sleep, deep sleep, and REM. Out of all the stages, deep sleep, or stage 3, is the most important for teenagers. This stage is critical for allowing your body to recover and for growth. Brain patterns also show that stage 3 sleep helps you with your insightful thinking, creativity, and memory. This stage, however, is shorter, so you need multiple cycles through your sleep to get enough. Since teenagers can't get enough sleep, it usually leaves them feeling tired and sluggish in the mornings. Missing out on deep sleep will lead to damage of your emotions, how you think, and just your overall physical health. Okay, Mr. Nixon, so what time do you usually wake up around?
Typically wake up at 4:45 in the morning.
And is there a reason you wake up so early?
Basically because one, the commute, it's about a 50-minute to an hour commute to get down here to school, and then also the start time.
And what time do you usually go to sleep?
So sleep varies. Sure, I would love to get to sleep around 10 or 11, but sometimes that does work out to be, around maybe around 12 a.m. Right? So that could, be some time, 5 hours.
And do you feel the amount of sleep you get is positively or negatively affecting your health?
Probably negatively affecting your health, my health rather. Health is broken down into a couple of different components. Sleep is, one of the major ones, right? So definitely not getting enough sleep, I think, in the long term, is probably, detrimental.
And finally, do you think pushing the start time of school a bit further back would help you?
I think that it would. In my other 2 teaching experiences, school didn't start until like an hour later.
Studies show that schools with an 8:30 a.m. start time or later have increased rates of graduation and attendance. Grades were also seen to improve, especially during the classes in the first 2 periods. By now you understand that students go to sleep late and that it's bad for their health. This is obviously the choice that they make, right? No, that's wrong. Teenagers have a naturally later circadian rhythm than adults, and it explains why we sleep at the time that we do. Circadian rhythms are your body's natural clock, and they tell you when you're tired and when you're energized. And usually with adults, circadian rhythms are shown to be shifted earlier. Adults start getting sleepier closer to 9 p.m., and this gets earlier as you age. However, due to spikes in certain hormones, teens get this feeling later in the night, which is around 11 p.m. This means teens just don't choose to sleep later, their bodies are just biologically built that way. Especially for teenagers with certain disorders, getting to sleep or just sleeping on time can be a lot harder. People with ADHD or dyslexia might have a harder time finishing their tasks, leading them to spend more time on them and getting less sleep. Others with sleep apnea or insomnia won't be able to fall asleep or get restful sleep. Sleep could also be affected by things like anxiety or depression, since they control the hormones that your body outputs. This means as a teenager, even if you get into bed early, you would just be laying there until your natural sleep hormones kicked in. It would be better to use that time to just get up and do the work that you gotta do until you actually feel sleepy. Starting school so early and setting time so early conflicts with the natural body clock that teenagers have. And even adults shouldn't have to wake up at 5 or 6 a.m. because it isn't healthy for them either. I know I've worked on this project very late at night most times, like maybe 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. And I know this isn't like that healthy, but I just felt more awake during those times to get the project done rather than any other times of the day. There has to be a reason why school starts so early, right? So I tried finding information on why school starts so early, and I didn't see anything. Seriously, the articles I found kept saying schools start bright and early just so you can start the day early. Half the time, the sun is barely even up when we get to school. Bus routes are the only valid reason I found because they have to make multiple trips to different schools, but moving back start times for all schools can easily solve this problem. Ending a bit later will also coincide with parents getting off from work, which is another win. I really don't get what the point of having school so early is. Do you think school should start later in the morning?
Yeah. I do. I think school should start later.
I do.
Yeah, I think it should start later. Yeah, I think it should start at 9. No, we just shouldn't have school.
Do you believe you get enough sleep at night?
No.
No. I am often tired every morning.
I don't.
No, I don't get enough sleep. Yes. No.
Are you able to focus on your classes that are early in the morning?
Not.
Sometimes, but not always.
Not really.
Oh, not really. I kind of get like sleepy and stuff, so not to my best. Yeah, actually no. And after a while, yeah.
Students' schedules are busy and their body clocks naturally push them to sleep later at night, then why don't we push back school start times in the morning? If multiple studies keep showing that grades go up as start times get later, then why aren't we pushing back the time? You just saw how many people approve of starting school later in the morning. All I'm gonna ask is, can you really think of a valid reason why school should start so early, and if the benefits of it outweigh the costs that I just discussed?